African swine fever in Poland. So we would like to show you what we did in terms of network analysis for the topic of infectious disease in animals, in pigs and vipers. I will show you something about epidemiology, the agents, which we will focus because we want to stress the social aspects of this disease, the interactions, social media examples too. So African swine fever is the most dangerous disease ever, and in the situation of the current COVID-19 outbreak, we need to um, remind that this is even a stronger virus with 100% mortality among animals, and it's much more stable in the environment. What happened that since 2019 the pork is not the most widely consumed meat anymore. This is the reason why African swine fever is so important to be analyzed. So in Poland, we have it already for 6 years. The most important aspect in African swine fever in the economic perspective is closure of the farms because they cannot satisfy the sanitary biosecurity conditions. And one of the reasons of reduction of the pig farms in Poland that Poland become one of the biggest producers of poultry because the farmers changed the production animal. This is obviously very costly issue, maybe not as costly as COVID-19, but still the direct costs are like hundreds million euro yearly, but indirect costs, which are difficult to count, like the amount of time the mm, farmer needs to spend on biosecurity procedures and volatility of price of pigs and meat, and the loss of the um, trust in the government. That's the cost which are very difficult to estimate, but they are very high. So I will not talk about the modeling of the spread of the disease because we are focusing on the social layer, but still this disease is coming from the east to the west of Poland, and we did some kind of spatial temporal analysis of it. For example, you can even check what is the chance of introduction to the given part of Poland which were not yet affected. So I can show you some visualization how the Polish counties get get affected also from the network perspective. I can also show you that you can check what is the most likely introduction time for the powiat, the counties of Poland, with also network statistics. But as I told you, we focus on the perspective of the social layer. This topic is quite important for Poland since like few years because at the beginning only few farms were affected, but for example the um, big event which was the um, conflict between the hunters and ecological association caused a lot of attention. So the conflicting agents which we are trying to recover and to analyze are the farmers. They are also on the other side the ecological organization which are trying to mm, stop meat production, or some of them wants to stop uh, killing animals by hunters, because the hunters are the very important plays very important role in controlling the amount of wild boars, which are the um, vector of the disease. They are also the veterinarian in this conflict, and public administration. So the animal rights defenders and ecologists, they used to protest intensively, uh, especially in the winter last year. Um, the farmers also wants to gain attention, because they lost a lot of money, and they to protest to protest currently due to COVID-19. They even um, very hardly affected by the changes of the price and the diseases in this um, spring, spreading even faster than the previous year, and affecting more and more places. So the farmers have problem with selling the products, so but they cannot go on the street and protest due to the this restriction coming from the COVID-19. So also the hunters are protesting, and the veterinary inspection. I'm also a worker of the sanitary inspection, so I did not protest, but this is somehow related to my normal job. And we also try to look at the network on Twitter of retweets, how they cluster according to the Langevin community detection algorithm, and those uh, communities have quite a clear structure and understandable structure. Some of them are like far far right cluster, far left with ecologist cluster, the farmer organization cluster, and the mainstream media cluster. So mm, thank you for listening to my presentation, and please look at the manuscript of our spatiotemporal analysis of African swine fever spread. And if you have any questions, any suggestion, especially for the from the social layer, I am welcome. Thank you.